Hey guys, it's end of the day Tuesday, and one of the first things I want to point out is that this channel has actually surpassed 100 subs, which I wasn't planning on that actually happening or hoping that was going to happen until the end of December. And then once the 2 months to Thanksgiving hashtag kicked off with the LieberFriend crowd, I thought I'd jump in there and kind of partake in that, which is how this whole vlogging thing kicked off. And then I actually moved the goalpost up from the end of December to Thanksgiving because I thought that might be a good goal. And I was only at like 92 maybe at the time. So, you know, I've gained 10 people since the beginning of the vlog. For a lot of people out there, it's probably not a huge thing, but for me, it's a pretty quick upswing compared to how long it took me to get those first 92 people on my channel, because I've been doing the Motley Stew show for a little over a year, so it's been a slow growth, but I kind of like it. It gave me a chance to really develop the feel of the channel and develop the show, and I still got more ideas on where I want to go with that. Anyway, to those people who actually have joined since the vlogging started, thanks, welcome, and I hope you continue to enjoy the videos here and also the show if you like it, and feel free to leave me comments on the show or the vlogs or ask me questions or whatever. Now, in regards to the kids, they're pretty much the same as they were yesterday, but one of the things that's been going on is that when Logan was born, I had such a rough time of it, you know, and I know that that sounds really weird considering I'm not the one who gave birth to him, but he had a very traumatic birth, and when he was born, they had to call the crash cart. He wasn't breathing. I just kind of fell apart. There were so many things pent up. There was so much anxiety. I had yet to be diagnosed with anxiety and depression at the time. All I knew was that I was unable to handle anything, and the idea that my first son had been born and immediately passed away was the big straw that broke me. For the next like 4 weeks, I was kind of a raw nerve. I couldn't really handle anything. And to this day, I feel bad about the fact that that's what my wife had to deal with, was not only this brand new baby in the house, but her husband, who was so unable to cope with life at that time. I'm so happy that this time is different. You know, I'm far more balanced than I was before. You know, I have the kind of support network, I have the medication going, and I'm enjoying Liam's babyhood immensely. And on top of that, I'm spending more time with Logan, really just focusing on him, especially when Liam is sleeping, which is most of the time, and just giving Logan a lot of one-on-one attention, which is also not just good for me to do because it was something I kind of missed out on when he was a baby, and also because it's hard for me to do that because due to either my anxiety or my depression or what my first therapist thought was mania, I have a kind of a personality and a brain that just will not stop. I constantly have things that I want to do. There's constantly projects in my mind. There's constantly things I want to be doing, or projects I want to be finishing, or books I want to be reading. And so it's hard for me to slow down and stop. You know, the idea of slowing down and smelling the roses is nice in my head, but it's so hard for me to actually do. So getting down on the floor and playing with cars and trucks with Logan, you know, after about 10 minutes, I get really antsy. My anxiety starts to rise and I just start to kind of fidget. You know, if I'm sitting in a chair, my legs will start to bounce, and I can't do anything about that. That's just a physical side effect of my anxiety starting to manifest itself. But lately, during this paternity time that I have, I've been trying to really focus on spending extra time, spending more time, really trying to stretch out that amount of time that I can handle, and really getting to bond one-on-one with Logan. It's been really, really nice, and he's been asking for me more, which has been helpful for Michelle, so he's not like attached to her hip. He's been kind of wanting me to do all these things. He wants me to read him books. He wants me to play with him in the playroom. He wants me to look at the things that he's doing, and that's been great. It just adds to the positive feeling that I've kind of just been grabbing onto and running forward with, and I just hope it continues. And someday, you know, I hope that he looks back and maybe sees these videos and knows how happy I've been to be spending this time with him. Which in that time, today I actually took him to the park a little bit after I posted the vlog earlier today. We went to the park for a little while, and this kid loves the swing. That is pretty much the number one, if not the only thing at the park that he really wants. He'll go down the slides, he'll run across the play areas and things like that, but you put him in a swing and you've got yourself locked down with an activity for at least an hour if you can stand it. He's also a big fan of the pool, and we have one in the backyard, but we don't have a heater to it, so we have to wait for like really hot days to happen, a few of them in a row at least, so the water warms up. But at the park we were at, there was actually a public pool, and they were doing some sort of swim club practice or something like that. So we went over and kind of watched, and he saw the kids and he wanted to get in, but I kept telling him he wasn't big enough and we didn't have his floaties and all this other stuff, and we weren't a member of whatever that was. But it was really cute because he walked up to the fence and he was like just looking at it, and he just wanted to be with the kids and the big kids. They were all like older teens or kind of middle-aged teens. And I thought, oh, this is a really cute place to get a little bit of footage that I could show you guys and for my own memories. And then right before, you know, I'm new to the vlogging thing, and I really quickly stopped myself and remembered there are certain places you do not want to just pop out a camera. And being a grown man who you might not have actually noticed that my son was there, so if you just see a grown man holding a really small camera and pointing it at a bunch of teenagers in bathing suits at the public pool, that's just asking for a stop and frisk maneuver from the local PD. So I decided not to do that. And for something else, I know I don't usually talk about politics here on the vlog, but if you are looking for something fun to do or just some passive amusement, go ahead and follow Donald Trump's Twitter feed. I've never seen someone so wrapped up in their own narcissism that he just retweets pretty much any positive thing that is said about him on Twitter. And then if anyone says something negative on Twitter, it's like a third grader got insulted on the playground, and it's just all this really childish vitriol that gets spit out. So to those people out there who are supporters of his, hey, you know, to each their own, but personally I find his Twitter feed to be quite amusing. Oh, and there was one other thing. So for those people who also don't click through the other links that are on the channel, I have an actual other website called The Motley Stew, and it originally started as a blog. And then I got contacted around a few years ago, maybe early February of last year, by a couple PR people who wanted me to review certain products for them, and that kind of kicked off something that's still going today. So it's been about 2 years that I've been getting products sent to me to review and write up reviews and put them up on the blog. So you can go check those out if you want. I think there's a link on the front of my channel that you can get to that blog. But I'm actually going to start shooting some of those reviews as videos as well. So I'll start up a new playlist called The Motley Re-Stew, and that is going to be where I place those product reviews. So I'm probably going to get a couple of these reviews in the can before I start posting them up. You know, and again, if you don't want to see those reviews, you can just subscribe to this vlog playlist and you won't be inundated with anything. But you know, most of the time, what I tell the people who send me things to review, I don't get paid for them, they just send me the product itself. But I'm always open and honest with them. I say, I'm not gonna lie about what I think, but I will give you the opportunity. If I look at your product and I say, this is not a good product, whether it's a book I read, a movie I watched, an album I listened to, or some gadget, if it's not good, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to tell me not to write anything about it. And that's fine. I don't feel the need to give you bad press. So I give them the opportunity to say, nope, you know what? You didn't like it. That's cool. You're honest with it. You can send it back if you want. You can give it to a friend who may like it, whatever. But all the reviews that I post are things I like, things that I actually want to promote. So hopefully you might find something in there that you think is cool as well. So that's it for the end of the day, and hope you guys are all doing well. As always, be good to each other.